chat, boys. It's Alpine Esports. How's that for energy?
Oh my goodness, what an entry. That pinnacle of casting right there. Pog in the chat, baby.
We're done. It's been a good time. No, we're just kidding. Week number 2 here of the grid. It's your boy F. Dot, and of course, the one and only.
Wow, the one and only.
No. I was like
you have to say my name. Say my name. No. I don't look. I don't get paid to say my own name. You get paid to say my name. Though. This is how this works. Okay.
That's Are you just quoting Destiny's Child at this point?
Am I
say my name. Say my name. Yeah.
That's like that song is turning into, if you know that song, you're just a boomer. But either way, we're not boomers here. We got our boys Alpine. They're not boomers, boy. They're gonna destroy you, okay? Every second in this tournament right now, Alpine. I've been looking at the bracket, I've been looking at everything. This is their week. I'm not even joking. I think this is their week.
It is. Again, welcome to the stream. This is Alpine Esports, home of Alpine Esports. We've got some interesting matches today. Our first matchup is going to be Susquehanna Soniqs. Do I say Susquehanna correctly, by the way?
Susquehanna, yes, I believe so. That's the way I've been told to pronounce it. That is, it's a difficult name to see, but we are up against them in the first series. And while maybe had this been a couple weeks ago with their new drop of Dapper, they got a new player in jruss. I thought maybe we'd have a chance, the huge advantage here.
There you go.
But they destroyed NRG last week.
Right, but that's a lot of, universal capital, so to speak, right? The karma, like Soniqs, they beat energy, and that's a whole lot of, what do you want to call it, luck or like, fate points. They already rolled their nat 20s, so this could be an interesting matchup. Realistically, though, I think your point about the new player jruss there is a big deal. Alpine maintaining their roster in a synergy-based esport like Rocket League. You're right. This is a world where we could kind of like boop and get on in.
It does feel a little bit like maybe it's a honeymoon stage though for the Soniqs. I think that I haven't seen too much of their playstyle, which is actually why I'm really excited to get into this first series, because I didn't actually get a chance to obviously catch that energy matchup because we were too invested in Alpine, obviously. So I'm curious to see what kind of playstyle they have, because with Dapper, they were very well-rounded. And I think going against Alpine, that could give us the advantage, because I think we were getting beat a lot last week in the midfield. And we were struggling to match the aggression from every team we play. So I think Soniqs, so long as they keep that old play style where they're all just trying to get perfect rotation to not be too aggro, that's what we'll be able to strike in the midfield and move that ball forward.
I absolutely agree. You got to really be able to find those aggressive moments, those opportunities, because that's when you go higher and higher on the skill tree in virtually any game. It's about finding that window of opportunity, and they get smaller and smaller the higher you get there. And so being able to really notice that and get on in there is going to be kind of the game plan here. Looking at us, Alpine, Jordan, Percy, and Majicbear. Majicbear is kind of the guy that a lot of players kind of look at off the rip. Is that how you think we're going to be jumping into this week as well?
I don't think so. I think that when it comes to creating space and a lot of our opportunities, I think Majicbear does a really great job. But I was actually really impressed with Jordan. Jordan last week was doing some crazy plays. If you had watched any of the series, you know that a lot of these unique and individual plays were coming out of my boy Jordan, okay? He's got the mechanics. He was the guy who almost got the musty flick. I was talking about, I'm still going to continue this musty flick trend this entire time.
It was close.
If you go back and watch that series, I believe it was against the Knights, he was so close to getting this insane musty flick. And it's plays like that that are high mechanical that I'm surprised to see out of Jordan, because I thought we were going to see that from Majicbear. And while he's insane too, my boy Jordan, he's stepping up to the plate.
And that's the fun stuff, is that, like, getting your expectations kind of thrown, because like I said, a lot of the fanfare and a lot of the lights are kind of on Majicbear to be the guy on this team. But when we see competitive Rocket League squads, having just one player be the guy is awesome. But what happens when, Majicbear is not infallible? There's going to be a week where he doesn't show up, and having Jordan and Percy there behind him to kind of jump on in and fill the team is a really, really big deal. So you want to be able to check out that and see where all these players are going to be landing for sure.
Well, and if you watched last week as well, we took two very, well, I want to say close. The numbers don't represent it. We lost to Omelet 1-3. Or excuse me, I guess we lost 3-1, and then we lost to the Knights 3-0. We got swept by them. But every single game was so close. There wasn't an individual matchup where we were just getting completely destroyed. It was always like a 1 or 2 goal difference. And I think the thing that was really plaguing us was simply our shooting. We were struggling so hard to hit the back of the net. We hit the crossbar multiple times. And I think if we come out this week so much more mechanical and just a little bit more accurate, this is when we can strike and move through into playoffs.
I'm here for it. I am excited. We're gonna look good on the field, and we can look good off the field as well. Exclamation point merch in the chat to go ahead and get the link to see where all the you know what, I'm gonna do it myself. Merch, bam, you can do that. And you can follow that link, and then I'll bring you to the cool merch. I'm actually, dude, I'm really critical of design and stuff. Yo, so I love this. Look at this jersey, okay? I'm really critical of design and everything. So the jersey is an interesting look. You see all that green, like the different colors of green?
Yeah.
So that's what a topographical map looks like. A map that shows elevation, Alpine,
like a weather report, which is kind of sick, to be honest.
So that's what it is. This is, if you look at a map to like see how tall the mountains are, this is what that design is.
Yeah, exactly.
Alpine is like the ram that like climbs up. All of this ties together. Like I said, I'm a big design nerd. This is beautiful. I love it.
I mean, for me, yellow and green are usually hit or miss, but everything right now in the shop looking too good. The hoodie's looking super comfortable. So go ahead, head on over !merch in the chat, to go ahead and rep the boys, because these guys, today's the day they make the playoffs. Okay, I actually have such a good feeling, and I'm not just saying that because if you look at our bracket, we are in group C and D in this bracket. So that means we're gonna go up against Soniqs in the first series. But compared to everybody else, in order to make it to playoffs, if we win against Soniqs, then we have to play the winner of E United and Plot Twist. And I think, against not only Soniqs, but either of E United or Plot Twist, we have the edge over. We have a lot of the mechanics, so long as we're shooting much more accurately.
It actually is really funny. Shouts to Mektos on Plot Twist. He's part of that gruesome twosome that makes up that 3-man squad. He responded to our tweet with #GoPine. So I think Plot Twist is hoping to meet us in that next stage. And you know what? I'm here for it. I kind of want to show Mektos, that Pine can climb, baby. Let's go.
Pine can climb. Wait, is that a saying? Is that official? We need that. That is amazing. Did you just make that up yourself?
Absolutely. They didn't pay me for my consultation fee, so I'm not getting to them just yet, though.
Climb the bars, bro. You are spitting every single day we come out here. You're just spitting bars, bro. I don't know what it is about you. I mean, were you a previous rapper? I'm not even joking, bro. You got some.
Yes, I have 2 albums out, actually. I'm not kidding.
No way. Are you serious?
Dude, I actually, hip hop. DJ Kool Herc. I have some real connections to like old school New York stuff, for real. I have one track with Jim Jones on it, but that's a different story for another day. Anyway, my man out here, I want to address the chat right quick, because out here, who was it? It was Clip, I think. Somebody said, FDOT needs to stop casters cursing us, Clip Chen. And I just need to address this, because it's not me. Oh, sometimes it's Turtle. Right now, it's Alpine. Let's jump into the game real quick, and we'll see who casters curses us this week, because it's not going to be me.
Look, the caster's curse, we always talk about it. It is real. It is a thing. Hey! And as soon as we start talking about caster's curse, I feel like this broke it. We got my boy Jordan. This is what I'm talking about. I wanted to see him pop off, and of course, he answers the question.
That's what I'm saying, bro. How it, like, just like that, we're going to start it off, and to get grounded real quick, that's the way we want to start the day off if you're rooting for Pine, which you're here, you should be. Because you got to set every player I talk to, oh my God.
What is happening? We're popping off straight away. My boy, Percy, are you kidding me? This is the second goal we get in this series.
Bro, like, every player I talk to, high end, it tells me how much emotion and like the tilt factor is in Rocket League, because it's such a momentum based game. That's the soundbite you hear a lot. And so to get like the quick okie doke score, that doesn't mean that Alpine is obviously the better team on the field today, but it just gives you like wind beneath your wings, so to speak, huh?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that I always talk about this, scoring first in Rocket League might be the difference. A lot of times we'll see whoever scores first continues that momentum forward. And we talked about it last week too, how important momentum is in this game, because it's so reactive. You don't have too much time to think about things and try and fix your mental state, because for the most part, if you take any time on this field to think, you're going to get caught out of rotation. So if these guys, they're feeling good right away, 2 goals scored, we already know we can beat the defense out. This is a good sign for Pine. And I think we're going to continue this forward so long as we keep the aggression and the demos from my boy Jordan.
I think it's incredibly so. Don't get me wrong. We have seen the 5 goals from behind game.
Yeah.
But in addition to the intangibles, right? We can talk about our emotions all day. But if we turn off the Drake record and get real, the goals that you score real quick allow you to make plays like that because Percy's being over aggro. When you know that you have a cushion of extra goals, you can just go to those extra demos that if you lose this, maybe they score it. That's fine because you got 1, 2, 3 extra goals, baby. So that room allows your players to be more aggressive and do different things.
Well, here's the thing. I can already tell that, at least for the most part, I'm excited for these interviews that we're going to see with the players. So tune in. Keep watching the stream because like we talked about, we always get players and we always get coaches in the Alpine broadcast. And that's what we're excited about. So I'm curious to see what they've been working on because these attacks seem so much more layered. We're seeing a lot of demo plays, a lot of bumps. And speaking of bumps, there's one in our face for Satthew just to have an open net to shoot at. So right away, multiple layered attempts, with demos, lots of physical plays, and just some close overall shooting.
Yeah, honestly, I got to give that one over to the Soniqs. They played that really, really well.
Yeah,
I liked the way they kind of knocked it out of the corner, but there was one orange defender, Pine was ready there, and I couldn't see who it was, but they got bumped out of the way. So that was just smooth moves. Got to tip your hat when it's there. But 3 minutes ago, 3-1 so far, and I'm chilling.
Oh, you are big chilling because we got 2 goals. We got the safety net, which is important. And now I want to see how we actually start to defend after the pressure gets added on because it seems like Soniqs took a little bit to warm up, and that goal speaks a lot of volumes to at least how they're feeling so far on the pitch.
Jordan's going to set Majicbear needed to pump the brakes there. That would have been really cute. That feels like a missed opportunity that we just shouldn't have missed up.
Oh, 100%. And that's one of those things where I think you get a bit confused with the communication. We're trying to see how that pass will come into the midfield. Majicbear, he assumed it was going to be a little bit earlier and went for the pre-jump, the position, because you don't want to be too defensive to the point where you'll get blocked out. But at that point, I think he was just trying to guess that pass.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be communication. I'm glad you kind of chimed in there. That was, give us that player aspect. But that's sort of what I was talking about there. Like you said, you don't want to be too defensive. And with this goal cushion that we have because of the 2 kind of quick okie-doke points that we got off the rip, that allows us to make those all right, if it goes in, it goes in. Who cares? We still have a goal up. But you can kind of get it more in a position. So I really want to see how we react on defense here because we've been largely offensive all day. So Alpine trying to turn things around, and it's not going well.
This is a tough one because it was just the defense that got broken down by the passing. It seems like Soniqs were totally happy just banging this back and forth. They weren't too focused on a goal, and that's where they just depleted all of Alpine's boost, wasting a lot of time, but also opening opportunities for them. And they're trailing back. This is tough. So this is where you get that confidence you were talking about earlier, F-Dot, and you start being aggressive. But then once you get denied once, things instantly start to crumble.
Still a 1-goal lead. But, and I'm going to ask you to put on that player hat again, right? Do you get nervous?
Oh, yeah. This is relatively expected out of a first game because, normally in a first game, we either get these matches where it's so one-sided, one team will try and make a nice comeback and they get really close or they actually achieve it, or it's just a 0-0 game all the time. Nobody wants to be too aggressive. And right away, we saw Pine coming out way more confident, and it took Soniqs a little bit to get a little bit of some confidence in the stride alone. But now things are kind of more even. You can see both teams starting to push in the midfield the same amount.
So jruss is the newer player here, and all right, no, shot coming out there. Watching jruss kind of fit into this squad is a big question for me, and one that I'm not really equipped to handle. How well? Just give me the full breakdown of how jruss is working in with the squad.
I'm impressed. I think that he is working. And not necessarily filling the role or the shoes of Dapper, but trying to make his own lane, which I think is the most important thing. We've got the final 7 seconds. We just need to hold on right now. Alpine, good 50 from the corner. As you see, Majicbear just carried it all the way out. The one's skills coming in so handy there to take it downfield, and that's what ends it. Alpine, it was a little bit sketch in the beginning. I won't lie. You know, we had confidence. We got those 3 goals, almost a big throw. But you see the Majicbear 1v1 skills. That is why the player is so important.
Exactly. I mean, you're able to just kind of, and what's important about there with Majicbear was that, and this is a big deal. He didn't just try to be the guy the entire team. Realized, all right, Jordan, Percy, you're doing it, man. There's no reason for me to get overly involved. We can just kind of follow up and do my job. Yeah. And then at the end, all right, got to run out the clock. No problem. It's me, the ones man. I'll dribble it down the field. Nobody can touch me. See you later. Knowing your kind of what you were saying about jruss, kind of finding his own lane and filling it. Majicbear knows like where he needs to be, how he needs to be, and just gets it done.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of Majicbear and the 1v1 skill on the other side, I think Satthew's a player you have to fear a lot of similar plays. Well, he'll be able to bring the ball down, go for some flicks. We didn't see too much of that, but hopefully we can continue to deny him in this game, because I think getting in front of Satthew and stopping those flicks is super important. But I want to mention another player, Percy, at the top of the scoreboard. You got to mention him, my boy.
Yeah.
4 saves, 3 shots, 2 goals. And if you noticed, he was the guy actually getting so many demos and taking the boost. He was by far the most forwardly positioned player and doing a lot of the heavy lifting on offense.
Yeah, I mean that Percy, Percy was the one that first got the first goal, and then Jordan got the follow-up, right? So, I mean, just getting started right off the top. I don't think we're gonna get that type of opportunity this time around. That first goal was, you know, you never say luck, but largely happenstance. We do start off with a fantastic shot on goal, a little high, and the defender was there, and then Satthew's able to find a way on out. But this is honestly more promising than the quick goal off the rip, I feel like, controlling the offensive side of the field.
Well, here's the thing. I mean, last week I thought that maybe we're a little bit timid on the offensive side. We didn't want to be too aggressive, and I was struggling to find the words to describe our playstyle, because we had crazy offense, but we didn't want to force it all the time. We kind of wanted to back off a bit. If you're Alpine Esports, you know, take the slower approach and make sure everything's really calculated. But you can see here, we have so much confidence pushing out in the midfield, always going for some kind of shot on net, and just focusing on stealing boosts. So I really want to know what their difference is and how they've implemented this change, because it is a huge shift in playstyle.
Yeah, that's really the hard part, is shifting playstyles in a game that's so Rocket League is so much more consistency based than other games. Like, I mean, pick an RPG. If you want to go from tanky to assassin, that's, you know, change your stats, sure, no problem. But when you're changing your Rocket League approach, I mean, you're the guy that's done this at a high level. That seems so incredibly, I mean, straight up difficult.
Well, it's basically the ripple effect. Once one person changes their playstyle, everybody else has to make a shift. So, you know, it's not as easy as saying, Jordan, be more aggressive, because whenever that happens, it's going to change a big dynamic. Everybody kind of has to adjust to that. So whenever you change your playstyle as a team, everybody has to get involved with that change. It can't just be one specific player. And that's why I think it's so hard for teams to get out of their playstyle that they're so buried in. You know, they're so used to rotating that same way, so used to positioning themselves however they are on the field, that changing is just such a big task, because everybody has to make that change.
It's all about having the squad kind of together in one shot. Shock has a great look on goal. Jordan's able to kind of stop that one real quick. So still scoreless after 2.
Oh, jruss, the mechanics. Oh my. Okay. The new pickup.
30.
The new pickup. I want to say it. You know, I wasn't. You know, I'm not even gonna say. I didn't want to roast Dapper. My man Dapper can hit these too, but jruss, my man, he's hitting this as the new pickup. Insane. That was such a nice play from him.
I mean, that was just pretty to look at. You know, that off the wall. Okay. I thought maybe jruss was kind of gonna give us another one.
I heard that pause. I was like, what? Did my stream crash? What's going on? But it was just jruss being jruss.
Yeah, it's just jruss, man. So luckily, I mean, that was a smooth move. But when you have to sort of assess, right? Every single time you get scored on, what happened? How do we fill the gap? That one is just, all right, you need a home run.
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta ask yourself, like, is that something that's gonna happen every time and we have to figure it out, or was that just happenstance? And your answer is?
Well, you remind me of a situation as Shot gets another one here. Good midfield passing too from Soniqs. They are completely warmed up. You can tell by the way they're moving this ball down the field. They've got a lot of positioning on the side walls. Then they can move and collapse on the defense inwards and get that good pass across. But to your point, F. Dot, you were talking a lot about, you know, whether I think excuse me, Fireburner. That's what I was saying. The conversation of Fireburner got back up into my head because I remember him saying, you know, if one goal goes in, it's a crazy flip reset or it's a nutty shot, you just have to say to yourself, that was a good shot, let's move on. You know, there's not too much you can try and critique because otherwise you're going to go crazy trying to somehow block out an insane mechanical shot, which most of the time you won't be able to do anything about.
Which is difficult because their second goal that we just got scored on, that's different. I think that one, that is exactly how that's exactly how Soniqs scored in game number 1. Good passing, and that's a little bit more troublesome. jruss is going to hit those, and that was good defense to make sure Satthew doesn't hit that. But the passing back and forth, that's something that Alpine has to assess and adjust.
I mean, they are completely stuffing us in our corners. You can see that Soniqs, they're totally fine with moving this ball from one corner to the other because it's wasting our boost. It's wasting Alpine's boost, making sure that they have nothing in the tank. So an opportunity like this will open up. You can see they're just getting closer and closer towards that final shot. Satthew, almost an open net to shoot at, and all that stems from this pressure they're putting on.
Much different game number 2 here. We started off with good control in the early parts of the game, but after about a minute and a half, it all went the other direction. Why can't Alpine kind of dig their heels in and get more offensive looks?
Well, this is just, I guess, classic pressure that we have to deal with because whenever we do finally get possession, we have nobody to clear it to. And I think now the only option we should be going for is getting some dribbles in. We need to waste time when transitioning out for our teammates to get boost. You know, if it's Majicbear with the dribble, he needs to waste time for Percy and Jordan, get boost, recover, and then go forward after whoever's in front gets that 50. That is like pretty much the only option at this point when you're getting buried into your own corner this badly, because otherwise we're just gonna be giving away possession, wasting our boost, and we're essentially a countdown for when an open net is presented.
This one's all but in the books here, so looking at the 1-1 slash line is always kind of rough, right? But it's one that I think is, if you're gonna find a loss, this is the way you want to do so, because like I said earlier, this is the one where you can kind of go, all right, we know why we lost, and I think I know why we lost this game and why we had a couple of goals go in game number 1. I want to ask you that question straight up and see if I'm correct.
Well, I mean, okay. So you're trying to break apart the first game and the second game. I think that it's definitely a difference. I would view this as Soniqs, essentially in that first game, we're trying to get warmed up. They weren't expecting the aggression that we've come out with, and a lot of our confidence with challenges. I think they assumed Alpine was going to play a more passive role. We caught them off guard in that aspect because we got instantly 3 goals. Lost a couple here and there. They almost came back in game 1. And then in game 2, Soniqs just had our card. They knew what we were going to play. They knew what we were going to deal, and how to handle that was just throw the ball in the corner, go left to right, keep starving us out. And eventually we just couldn't find any form of passing.
That's the key there is the passing. That was my answer for sure, was that the passing was just outdone on the other side. You know, when we look at the goals that Alpine was able to score in game 1, again, and maybe I'm doing a disservice here by taking away that first goal, but that was, like you said, just pure unmatched aggression. Soniqs might not have been ready for it. But the secondary goal and then the follow-up, that was all, you know, individual skill, maybe an easy midfield pass, but nothing like this Spurs-esque game that Soniqs are playing with, like pass to goal, pass to goal. Multiple touches are becoming troublesome for Alpine, and they need to stop that. If you're coaching Alpine, you know, if you're Miztik, what are you telling these guys to make sure that they fill those passing lanes?
Well, it's fall back on that layered approach. I think that in the first game, while we did get that freebie of the first goal and we caught Soniqs off guard, you have to give credit to our attempts on net. Look at the demos. That's what I'm talking about. Majicbear, beautiful job. That's what I want to see more. Percy in the first game was getting so many demos back and forth, completely disrupting the defense of Soniqs and forcing a lot of mistakes on their end for us to have a shooting lane. So we need to do that more. Find more layers of which we can attack with. Otherwise, you know, a basic shot on net isn't going to do much.
That's the problem so far. This time around, still on our side. Shock tries to go for a shot, but a decent defensive kind of stop there. But again, we find ourselves just kind of locked in our bedroom, finally pushing on the blue side. And this is where I would like to see a little bit more like I said, kind of cohesion. Drawn up plays isn't exactly the way we approach Rocket League, but you know, that type of mentality, because it looks so consistent on the other side.
Yeah, well, it's where you talk about drawn up plays. I think that drawn up plays and like predetermined, I guess, moves, you know, strategies of how somebody will go into the midfield, and routine passing plays that you'll see from teams. G2 does that so much, as there was almost a banger off the corner. We got away with murder.
I like that word routine much better than like playbook, because it's not like CS:GO or football where you can be like, all right, run to the right, run to the left, right. You know, that's not, the game is more fluid than that. So routine, I like that terminology a lot.
Definitely. Well, that's what G2 does a lot. I think that it's never the same passing play that we'll see, like the exact same, but usually it's around the same, I guess, genre of passing, because these guys always go for a midfield hit. And while it can be so predictable, so long as they can be effective with their execution, it doesn't matter whether or not the other team knows what they're going to do, since they can do it with such speed and such, I guess, accuracy in the midfield. That's what makes them lethal. And Alpine, they could definitely adapt some of that into their play with midfield passing and things that we want to see out of them, which is use each other, use that 1v1 skill to Majicbear, then go for a 50 to force down into midfield, things like that from Alpine. As we get one here, Majicbear, finally the offense will prevail, force a mistake out of the defense on the side of Soniqs, and this was just a miss hit from jruss.
Yeah, it's just, and that's what that is something that Alpine is very good at. Percy and Jordan, that's how they scored in game 1, and Majicbear does it here, where we just really, Alpine has a great eye for these opportunities. The capitalizing off of the opponent's mistakes is definitely where our skill points are, so to speak, right?
Definitely. Well, that's why I was really happy about the first game with demos. It didn't feel like we were waiting for a mistake. Instead, we were forcing that, which I think, you know, every team obviously needs to do. But for Alpine, since we do have our offense really locked down in terms of punishing, now all we need is that extra element of being able to force a mistake out. And that's what Percy was doing with the demos earlier on. Yeah,
that's that next kind of step. Looking at like the consistency and the routine plays like you were talking about.
Oh my goodness. Oh, I saw that play developing, and Majicbear almost made me. I would have stopped watching at that point. That would have been the end of it.
Was that good defense, or did Majicbear just miss the second hit?
He just missed that second hit. He got it off the backboard. He just couldn't get the angle to go down, but it doesn't matter because he's got an open net. This is revenge for our boy Majicbear. You know, he almost got the beautiful double tap, but as long as he has Percy, it doesn't even matter.
Well, see, that's the life lesson in general, right? You go and you try to do it. Ow, I just burned myself. You go and you try to do it like yourself, and oh no! But then you show up with your team, and your homies got your back.
Yeah,
that's a life lesson there.
Also a glimpse, though. I mean, Alpine Esports, even maybe before Rival Series of last season, of season 9, excuse me, I was like, you know, I don't know who these guys are. I don't think it's that big of a deal. But then all of a sudden you start watching some of their threes games, and you'll see little moments, little highlights like that one from Majicbear, where like, okay, these guys have got some mechanics, have got some really, really close attempts on net, where a little bit more practice, a little bit more hours in the game, and as a team, and these guys will be deadly.
Yeah, no, it was actually really fun. Kind of last year, season 9 Rival Series. I mean, that's my first intro to Rocket League, right? And I'm sitting there next to, like, you know, Daddy Stacks. It's been here since the dinosaur age. Oh, yeah. And I'm like, hey, what's a good team? Oh. Beautiful save.
So Majicbear had to wrap around just barely at the end as Soniqs.
Oh, no way!
Forward. Percy. He's too clean with it. He is too clean with it, ladies and gentlemen.
Man, from one side to the other, all the way in, you'll love to see it.
And he had to flex on him with a little bit of the air roll as well. That's what I love. It's almost like roasting Soniqs. You know, you could have gone for a regular, maybe a Farah aerial where you don't even use air roll, but there, he just had to flex on him.
Yeah, no, that's the in-game taunt, right?
That's what I'm talking about.
That's the man. That's the look back dunk real quick. But like I was saying, you know, I jumped into season 9 and I'd watched some Rocket League, but definitely, you know, not well versed in it. And I was real, you know, I'm still learning the game and looking at it, going like, hey guys, that looked really good. Watching Majicbear, Percy, and Jordan, like that looked really good. But I'm new, so I don't know. And watching the veterans go, nah, dude, they got something special here. Really fun stuff.
Well, exactly. And I'm curious, you know, have you? I guess, agreed with that as you've gone forward? You know, you've gotten more hours to watch Rocket League. Have you just realized that whatever your suspicion was with this team, I mean, you can confirm that you were right in the fact that these guys have a special quality about them?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I mean, you know, those questions I was asking were fun to kind of like see how it all came to fruition, because we see a lot of the teams here, you know, whether it's RLCS X or otherwise. And one of the fun things about Rocket League is that your play style is a dirty word in other games, right?
Yeah.
This is the meta. This is the good character. If you're not playing Guile, you're doing it wrong here, right? But in Rocket League, you can be aggressive, you can be defensive, you can be you
have your own role. Exactly.
Yeah, like plot twist is Mektos and Taroko and a third, right? They do twos with a little input. We have our Majicbear ones with the other guys around. There's different approaches, and that's really swag. And like watching this team come out here, I mean, they did well in the rival series, and they're doing mad good now. And I think there's something special here for sure.
Well, I mean, speaking of doing good, we're already a step ahead of last week, because last week we played against Omelet. We went 1-3 against them, and then we got swept by the Knights. We've already taken 2 games off of Soniqs, forcing now a game, I believe, number 4. I messed that up last week, but I'm not gonna do it again. You know, you were so easy to roast me last time. I don't appreciate that when you roast me, especially in front of people. Okay, it's not cool. But we've got game number 4. I have the numbers correct. Okay, I got it written down. Everything is on point. And look, this is what I'm talking about. We have the chance here to take this series 3-1, move on, and play the winner of E United and Plot Twist. I'm telling you, this is such a good bracket for us, and a chance to make playoffs and really show everybody what we're made of.
I agree. I'm typing real quick because I want to see who's winning on the E United side. Plot Twist are up 2-1. So early, if you guys are just joining us, Mektos tweeted at us like, "Go Pine!" And well, we're trying to go up against them. We got to win first.
If we can, though, if we can even dodge these bumps from jruss. jruss just completely bolted himself at our goalkeeper, thrust it into him, and everything just got destroyed.
Well, that's how we scored in game 1. So you know what? Like, you win some, you lose some, right? No big deal.
You can't even. I guess it's more revenge. It's more revenge from Soniqs, but we didn't score first, and now the offense from Soniqs is starting to exponentially build up a bit. I'm a little bit scared, because we saw that mechanical play from jruss. If he starts popping off a little bit more, that could be the difference maker. So long as we deny jruss, I think we've got this series at least secure.
Yeah, you've been real focused on jruss and what he's doing here for Sonic. Is it just his pure scoring potential, or what is jruss doing so hard that's kind of
he's just so aggressive. If you let him get to you like we did in that first goal, if we start kind of falling into the trap of jruss, Percy almost gets away. He does. What the midair bump! I didn't think he was gonna get it. I thought he just went for the pop, but he challenged the goalkeeper, took him out, and opens up the net. Percy, you're insane.
Oh man, finding his own bump there was real smooth, and that's the the individual play here, and that's what I think is really fun about Alpine Esports, is that like their individual play is strong. But they fit into each other's system pretty well. Well,
we don't need to talk about this.
Oh, no.
Nothing happened. Okay. Anyway, Percy and Majicbear, they're nuts. Nothing ever happened. But Shock, dude. See, as soon as we get a solo play, it's Soniqs with a counter, and it's Shock this time. It was jruss a couple games ago. Can we just get one solo play and not have a great counterattack from the other team, please?
I'm not sure. That seems to be a tall task. Oh, Percy! See, that's the last time we missed that one. This time, Percy's waiting there. And man, who was it the other day on RLCS X? I think it was a member of G2 that was talking about the defensive double commits, because we just saw it right there. Defensive double commits aren't
very big,
yeah, they're not by default bad, because if you have 2 players like there, if we had 2 players in goal, you can kind of stop that one's either going top left corner or bottom right corner.
Yeah.
And since we only had Jordan there in net, he can only stop the bottom right corner, goes over his head and eases in. So that type of double commit we saw it a couple of times before. Yeah. The reason why the Sonics are able to score there is because they finally spread the floor out. I think that's how they got it in.
Oh, definitely. Well, you also have to consider clears. Percy in that corner, he had an option to get that clear and go towards the midfield, kind of boom it forward, or he could hit his own corner. He had Majicbear trying to rotate out, go on the wall, but he hit it way too close to anybody to somebody on Soniqs, which just gave away possession, gave them a free shot. And that's what I talk about is so important with clears. If you're not finding your teammate, you're essentially just giving the other team a free shot on net. You need to make sure your clears are accurate if you want to transition out.
That seems right. Yeah, Smario15 in the chat says they just got confused on defense. Like, and that happens. You know, there seems to be, like, obviously there's so much going on. You know, when you listen to the comms in threes, it's actually fun. If you listen to professional comms, it's either real quiet, like I love listening to Justin when he scored that goal at Worlds, because it's just kind of quiet. Like, he just kind of does his thing. Or it's buzzing. It's super noisy, right? There's no in between.
Well, I honestly kind of prefer some of the loud comms, because I think it's all about not thinking. I know that sounds dumb in this game.
No, I get it.
But you really need to just turn your brain off and make everything instinctual, because if you overthink about any specific moment, you're already going to be slowed down and you won't get to the ball in time. Your rotation will be completely off. So I guess the best alternative, turn that brain off. That's all. That's what it's all about. Instead of 400 IQ, you got to go to 5.
Well, 5 in total as Percy scores goal number 2 here. The other team has 3, so we do kind of have to answer it. But this is what game is this, Turtle?
This is game number 4, baby.
All right, just checking. So we need to get. We're only down 1, so it's an interesting look. This game is still in our hands, though. 90 seconds left to tie it at the very least. And what we've seen out of here has been pretty even, despite the fact that we're down a goal. I've seen an even match here.
Well, in that previous goal, we just got Majicbear, a little bit of a pre-flip. We are starting to heat up. Look at these passes. And Percy, he seems to be pretty much the backbone of all our offensive attacks. Even there, we get a flick. Majicbear that now going for the demo. I love the later attacks. Starting to look so much better. Even the passing in the midfield back to Jordan. That would have been so nice. But the fact that the ideas are there means so much to us in this series.
And that's what I'm talking about. Like, look, you know, obviously here we are, the home of the climb, but like we are not the #1 team in the league, and everybody knows that. It's about the potential for a squad. jruss stopping us one more time, man. But it's so much about the potential, and like, you know, if you're out there as like a Rocket League, you know, you got the brains like Turtle does. Right. You can see the beginnings of what becomes the next big team.
Look, I don't have any brains. I just know a little bit about carb ball, and not even that much. Okay, how dare you? How dare you put me on this pedestal? 15 seconds left, though. Like you said, we have had pressure this whole remaining minute of game number 4, and this is going to be a good counterattack. Except jruss missed it. Wait, maybe there's a chance here. That miss could lead to something special if we get the passing on.
Keep it up. Keep it up. Jordan and Percy. Oh, Majicbear has a shot. Oh. Okay.
I'm sad.
All right, chat, you need to help me out, or Turtle maybe. Why is everybody spamming chicken?
Chicken?
What is chicken?
What do you mean chicken?
They're spamming chicken in the chat. I don't get it.
Who is spamming chicken in the chat? I'm confused.
A lot of people.
Okay, look.
Oh, so jruss used to be called Chicken.
jruss used to be, his name was Chicken in the previous. Why would you name yourself Chicken? What is?
Why would you just be Chicken? Like,
there was nothing else. It wasn't like Chicken XX Demon Slayer. Nothing fancy. It was just Chicken.
Actually, yeah, Alpine Esports is right. Your name is Turtle, dude.
There's nothing wrong with the name Turtle. It's better than Chicken, okay? There's like chicken, and then there's like turtle up here, okay? There is definitely no comparison with chicken and turtle. I don't even want to hear that argument, okay?
Well, so like chickens give us like eggs, and like male chickens are like old school alarm clocks. Turtles, I mean, I guess turtles like live forever.
No, not do they? All I know is that when I was, this is kind of a sad story. Maybe that's why I'm named Turtle. All I know is that I ran over a turtle one day, and it was the saddest day of my life.
Oh no, that is really sad, actually.
It was a major L that I've taken, but we're not going to take the L. We've got game 5 up against Soniqs. This is going to be a close one. We were so close to the buzzer beater F dot. I believe we had that final minute of possession. If we can carry that momentum here forward, keep going for those demos, like passes like that from Percy, that's what we need to see.
Yeah, I mean that's the look that we were getting in honestly all of the games that we won. It was so much about offensive possession. Like if we time the amount of if we look at the amount of time that the ball was on the blue side of the map, I think that it's overwhelmingly in our favor when we win. But when we lose, it's not even all the way the other direction. It's usually more even. And so maintaining that offensive control, I think, is the key for us to be able to find Game 5.
Well, that's what Sonics have been doing just a little bit better than us in the series, is they've been on the offensive side, able to keep that ball stuck in our corner more. So that means we waste so much more boost just trying to clear that ball, give away possession instantly. Meanwhile, on the other side, we'll have a couple good looks here and there, some good give and go passes. But overall, it seems like we struggle to force the ball and keep it in that corner. So if we can just keep that ball stuck, keep going for those corner boosts, and try and starve out our opponent's Sonics in this case, I think we'll have a much better chance because we are getting outclassed in that department.
You pointed out earlier the demos a lot, because what Alpine does well is the opponent makes a mistake and then all three of our players can kind of like capitalize and put it on end. But forcing those mistakes is kind of that next step to like really solidifying ourselves in the squad. So I mean, how do we start to look for those opportunities?
Well, first of all, it's a common thing to see a lot of rival series teams do that tactic where they're just waiting for a mistake, because that's kind of their only option here because they can't keep up with the speed. But like you said, how do we look to create and force mistakes out of the Sonics defense? The main thing about that is either go for a demo, which is pretty much the easiest tactic because there's not too much mechanics involved. But the other is, I'd say, go for more solo plays. You have to be creative. You have to have the mechanics. And I think we're looking at Jordan and Percy. Those guys have what it takes to force a mistake just through their own mechanics alone. So I think if they get the ball, maybe be a bit more selfish. It's not a bad thing to take that ball yourself so long as you can force an awkward space or an awkward opening on the side of Sonics.
I feel that. I've always liked the idea of 3-player teams, because I feel like if you have more than 3 players, like if you're playing basketball or something, you need teamwork. You need all 5 players to work, and selfish play is just that. It's selfish and inconsequential. And if you have too few players, then it has to all be about the superstar game. 3, you have that ability to just be like, all right, Majicbear, you're the 1 star, like, get us a goal, and that can happen. Or we can see the more team-oriented approach, and both are really viable options. And if your players are alive and Percy's scoring 3 goals a game, dude, just feed the hot hand and give it to him.
Well, I love what I'm seeing though so far on the pitch. We see Jordan getting aggressive and getting in front of the clears. It seems like we are finding a teammate when we do decide to transition on offense, which is a really good sign that we can keep possession, keep taking their boosts. You see Majicbear even getting that corner himself, which is a good job. But what a flick from Shock. That was almost so deadly. Let's see if we have a counterattack though. This is our opening.
Majicbear is going to toss it towards Satthew. Gets the block, but Jordan's here to pass it midfield. Percy playing back. That was smart. That was cool.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I still wanted to see some out of that counterattack though, because there was a huge miss. It was so close off the crossbar. If we just got a much more speedy counterattack, it would have been our chance. We got 1 minute and 15 seconds here. Just need to force something out. At this point, I would just wait for a mistake. Don't try and be too aggressive. You just got to keep this one close.
It's funny is that, like, when you hit a game 5, sometimes players get a little bit more passive. Yeah. That's why you wind up with the 0-0. This has not been more passive.
Oh, what? Save, Percy.
That was in and I swear to God, that was inside, but I'm not going to tell anybody. I thought Majicbear was going to get that one. Oh, man. We thought.
Dude, but this is such a fantastic series. This is pretty much the best performance we've seen out of week 1 coming into week 2. This is Alpine Esports right now, hitting at least their peak for what we can see. But there's got to be much more room until we hit that ceiling, bro. There has to.
Oh no! This is the good look. Great, that was high, but that was exactly how Sonics have been scoring on time and again. With the passes, the first one was a little bit off, but the secondary play worked out magically. Oh man,
they've been doing this to us all game too. It's the corner plays. You can see Sonics, they are so good throwing that ball down and going back and forth, wasting our boost. And in that instance, it leads to a goal. We still have time though. You have to believe. Believe in something.
You gotta believe in the climb. 8 seconds here.
We can do this.
We're gonna push it. Up goes Majicbear. Percy's in mid just to wait for it. Ball goes over his head. They've got no one in mid. And I think that, oh man, one opportunity here, but.
Jordan.
Oh. That's gonna be
get in front of shock. No, it's still up.
Oh, okay. All right.
Okay. The boys. Okay, this is good. We've been starving their boost a little bit. There's a chance here.
All right, there's one hit.
This ball's not dropping.
Not at all. That's rule 1, right?
Oh no, that's such a. Oh, the booming clear. Oh, what a game! What a series! GG's in the chat to Sonics. That was a nail biter all the way down to the final seconds. Again, it was just the corner play that caught us off guard. But if it wasn't for that, you already know Alpine would have probably taken that series without a doubt.
I mean, real serious. It's just, good play. Good play there. Got to tip your hat to Sonics. They were able to get it there at the very end. That one, man. I am happy about losing like that. Wait for it, right? Because and this is something that, like, Miztik is going to agree with me and nobody else will, because this is a coach moment, right? We lost the same things that in game 5, we lost the series because of the same reasons that we lost some of those games, Turtle, right? Was the passing on the other side just seemed to be a little too strong. And I mean, like, you're the analyst, so just dunk on me if I'm wrong, but it seemed like it was just all about the passing opportunities across the side.
Well, it's actually a tough one to break down, because I think that Alpine, for the most part, had better looking opportunities. At least they're at least flashier. You got to talk about the solo plays that we saw to Percy, the demos. Majicbear almost got that incredible double tap off of the backboard. I think we had so many good opportunities. It just comes down to the consistency of them. And Sonics, while they didn't have, crazy flashy plays, we had that one flip reset from jruss, which was very impressive. But other than that, it was very typical play where you throw in the corner and then go back and forth, starve out a boost, and then that's what opens up an opportunity. Meanwhile, it felt like Alpine struggled a little bit to keep the ball in that half, to pressure them, to take their boost, make sure that they're forcing out mistakes left and right. Because while we had good looks with our passes and our solo plays, we weren't really doing a great job of holding that ball in the offensive zone.
Yeah, I think what it comes down to is there was such a strong adaptation play across the way. Game number 1 went real well. And what are you laughing at?
I look in the chat and the first thing I see is, that's okay, we can blame F dot.
Yep, that's my job here.
This is what I like to see. You roasted me about my name and chicken. Okay, that's not cool. But at least I have that.
Yeah, you're right. My esteemed co-caster here, XX Demon Slayer Turtle XX, right?
Thank you. Please address me as that from now on. Nothing else.
Well, that one we do wind up losing to the Sonics, and like I said, I think this is one that you hate to lose the games where you just what happened, guys. You have no idea. Here you can actually, like, go back, look at the video, and kind of adjust to that. I think Sonics really adjusted to our play very, very well. We were hyper aggressive in game 1. They lost by a lot, and we're like, let's not let that happen again. And they were able to kind of work it out there. We need to be able to find that same look. But let's take a look at the brackets and see where we wind up after this, because, of course, double a limb, so we get another shot at goal. So losing out to Susquehanna Soniqs means that we won't play against the winner of Plot Twist and United. Plot Twist does win. So, oh well, we don't get our kind of fight there.
It was a bit frustrating. Yeah, Mekdos on Twitter was talking some smack. But, fortunately enough, we will drop down to the losers bracket and face off against E United. So it's going to be Alpine versus E United in the next matchup, which, to be honest, should be easier than, because I think Sonics, out of our whole group C and D, since they just beat Energy, definitely, if not the top team right now to beat. So if we can go get a game 5, if we can keep up that strategy, implement all the plays, and like I said, just keep the ball a little bit more in the offensive zone, starve out the opponent, we should have the edge, and we will beat E United.
I'm excited too, because I think E United are one of these teams that are you see Energy loses right there. Shout out to production with their instant update. But E United here, I think, are a great example of a team that they're solidified. They're a good team, but they're not, maybe it's no longer is the correct terminology, a great team. And for an up and coming squad like Alpine, this is the type of practice that you want to go up against, right?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I think that going up against Sonics has given us, first of all, I talked about it last week. We have so much footage now as players and as the coach to look back on every single individual match. There's so much that we can learn. Even in the Sonics match, we are so close from finding that stride, that perfect rotation that will continue to lead us to victory because we were that close to getting that win against Sonics. Just kept it to game 5, last 20 seconds. And you got to respect the Alpine boys and know that there is potential with these underdogs, man.
Yeah, I mean, just mad fun kind of watching this one roll out and seeing where we're going to wind up. A lot happier because, you know, we just got to say what happened. Last week, we got swept pretty easily. And
we don't
so
we don't need to talk about it, okay? How dare you?
Yeah. But like you said, number 5 against a team that beat out Energy, that's the look that we want to see. So we have our next team up against United in just a little bit. We're going to take a brief break. I'm going to make fun of Charles' name a little bit. We'll be right back after this. Exclamation point mark.
I hate you.